Hi, my name is Shelby Jans, and my thesis paper is on aviation fatalities and compensation payouts. The purpose of this research paper is to explore the system of compensation liability in aviation fatalities as it relates to May 1996 airplane crash of ValueJet Flight 592. The investigation is drawn on different discipline sources that include sociology, psychology, economics, law, and mass media communication. There are three kinds of aviation accidents: procedural, engineered, and system. There is a need to assess safety programs targeting human error in aviation. The study presents results of the framework using human factor analysis and classification system, known as the HFACS, and human factors intervention matrix, HFIX. Human behavior plays a key role in exploring the system of compensation and liability as it relates to aviation accidents. Flying will remain safe, but there are structural limits to flight safety, and the vision of zero accident in flight travel is unrealistic. Airplane transportation is a way of moving people through the air inexpensively and at a high rate of speed. Airplane travel has evolved over the last decade. It has become a common form of travel to people. In one of the research articles, it discussed airlines' purpose is to move the public through thin air cheaply and at a high speed. According to Chappell and Wigman, aviation in the United States has become one of the safest modes of transportation. The framework of this research focuses on the lessons learned of ValueJet 592. The accident took place in 1996 in Everglades Holiday Park, Florida. In the study of the crash, it offers up the possibility that society has come to rely on flight unless we are willing to end the once affordable airline system as we know it. We cannot stop the occasional sacrifice. System accident thinking does not demand that one accept fate without a struggle, but it serves as an important caution. The FAA showed signs of concern about the ValueJet for quite some time. The concern centered on the airline expanded too fast. ValueJet's growth spurt went from 2 to 52 airplanes over its 2.5-year lifespan. They had neither the procedures nor the people in place to maintain standards of safety. When a tragedy happens like the crash of ValueJet, it becomes a catastrophe across the media due to the number of fatalities. In the tragic airplane crash of ValueJet 592, the author stated, "Families of those who died will fear the poison forever." An interdisciplinary approach is the best way to research a complex question of should the lessons of ValueJet 592 air catastrophe be held accountable to compensate families of crash victims? There are many different perspectives to consider when understanding a complex topic of plane crashes and compensation owed to crash victims and their families. The three relevant disciplines used to research this problem are sociology, psychology, and economics. These disciplines were chosen because they are most directly connected to the problem, generate most relevant research, and have the most convincing theories. Most importantly, these three disciplines provide information about the problem that is vital to expanding a comprehensive understanding of it. Sociology is one of the relevant disciplines because it has the world as a social reality that covers relationships between people in any given culture. Conflict theory is important in this research because it focuses on the different outlooks a social group may have on aircraft disasters. In the aftermath of ValueJet's crash, officials were concerned about the accident's effects on nature, but the swamp quickly resumed its usual life. However, the families of those who died provided less spirited. There is consequences when cost-cutting starts to jeopardize passenger safety. For example, ValueJet's cost-saving effects of low-paid flight attendants, ramp agents, and mechanics contributed to the fatal crash. The FAA determined that in the past 10 years, 172 accidents could have been prevented in whole or in part with the safety management systems in place. The missing factors in the research included human resource management, communication studies, and data collection are ones that contribute to aviation fatalities. Human resource management, known as HRM, is responsible for the training staff and procedures and policies. Communication studies is responsible in translating information from supervisor to employee or media to public. Data collection is critical in ways of gathering information from a variety of sources to get complete and accurate picture and causes related to aviation fatalities. The general common ground found between the three relevant disciplines of sociology, psychology, and economics is human behavior. This is because human behavior is a key component in most traumatic events. Airplane disasters can leave society in the sense of shock and misbelief. Human behavior, such as bad mood and anxiety, can impact the economic world in ways of weakening the stock market. The investigators in regards to future stocks will take less risks to the stock market. Human behavior plays a vital role in many events. An aviation disaster is one event that human behavior impacts significantly across many different disciplines. There are a number of important conclusions that arise from the research topic. Society's social function looks to protect life and health of citizens. The impact of catastrophes depends on the magnitude of the accident. When aviation disasters occur, society immediately looks for an explanation of why it happened. People are trying to find meaning of something that does not make sense to them. Studies have shown that the impact of a disaster is not always portrayed as being negative. Victims of a disaster can benefit in ways of becoming together as a group to provide sympathy and support to one another. New generations of researchers are moving away from the psychological point of view on commonly to an ecological perspective. There are three types of errors identified that are associated with the HFACS: decisions, skill-based, and perceptual. There are also two types of violations: routine and understanding, that the described in HFACS. Errors are ones that are considered as honest mistakes. It was best stated by a researcher that human errors are like mosquitoes. They can be swatted by one, but they are still coming. The best remedies are to create more effective defenses and to drain a view of the swamps in which they breed. Where the HFACS framework provides a view of the swamp, HFIX makes certain that we are draining the right swamp in the most efficient and thorough manner. What this means is one of the most understanding and underlying cause that leap up to a disaster and where the gaps are in the current safety programs in order to eliminate aviation accidents. In the end, ValueJet's fatal crash was identified as a system accident. The airplane crash was due to dangerous oxygen that were inadvertently loaded on the aircraft. The decision was not to check labels when loading this cargo proved to be a fatal mistake for the air crew members and passengers. There were lives lost due to human errors. Flying will remain safe, but to think airlines will get zero accident is very unrealistic. As the air travel expands, it can be assumed that the unpredictable accidents will continue to grow. The crash of ValueJet causes most families of those who died to feel the pain forever. The Air Travelers Protection Act is in place to help victims in airplane disasters like ValueJet to assure prompt award to families of victims on a no-fault basis and to protect the airlines and manufacturers from financial disasters. Flying will remain safe, and the conventional reasons, including the admirable reaction we have seen to the ValueJet crash.